Hi guys, welcome to Python tutorial. In this session, I'm going to explain input and output functions in Python. So by using input and output functions, you should able to read the value from the user and also print the output to the console in different formats. Let us go ahead and start. So I'm starting the Python IDE and creating a new file. So first let us look at how you can take the input from the user. In order to take the input from the user, we have the predefined function called as a input. So input one equal to input, it will accept the string. So enter user name and I'm just printing whatever the value you are going to read from the user, and I'll save this file as input output demo. Let me replace it. Okay, so now let me run this program. Now if I run this program now, it is waiting for the user input. Here I enters input as Siva Reddy. Now what happened is the input function has taken a read the value from the console and it is assigned to the input one, and now that input value I have printed here. But the problem with this input function is whatever the value you are reading from the input function, it always in the form of a string. Even you provide a integer value also, it will automatically convert that value to the string and it will return you. Now I'll show the exam with an example. User input 1, input 2 here. uh, User 1 age and user 2 age, and here sum of two users age is input 1 plus input 2. Now let us run this program and see what happens here. User 1 age is 10, user 2 age is 20, but if you see here the sum of two users age is 10, 10, 20. Why it happened like this is input function, it reads the value in the form of a string and input 2 also string. That is the reason whenever we use the plus symbol, it has concatenated the two strings instead of actually it is adding it. In order to eliminate or in order to overcome this problem, whenever you read the value from the user, you need to make sure that explicitly need to do the type conversion. So by using the int function, it can automatically convert the string into the integer value. Now if I run this program again, now you can see that int user 1 10, user 2 is 20. Now this time it print properly. Okay, so whenever you are reading the other than string, if you want to reading any value from the user, make sure that you need to do the proper conversion here. For integer int, long long, float float, you need to do the explicitly data type conversion here. Now the second part what we are going to discuss here is about the output. By default what happens is print is nothing but it is going to print the output to the console. But actual syntax of the print is something like this. It is going to take the var args are nothing but the values, and we have the separator. By default the separator between the variables is going to be the space, and end is going to represent with the new line, and file is nothing but sys dot sys std out, that is nothing but the console flush equal to false. Now we can override these settings and so that we can get a different types of the output formats. Now let us see, instead of sum of the two numbers, let us what I'm going to do is I'm just printing the output to the console, input 1 and input 2. Now if you see the output, there will be a space between each variable. For example, 10, there is a space between that. And sum of two numbers age is, there is a space. Because by default, print function by default separator is the space. Now, I want to override that functionality and want to print in a different format. Then I want the separator with the hash instead of the space. Now, if I run this program again, 10, 20, this time you see there is a hash between the variables, there is a separator is hash. And similarly, now again, if I print the same line once again, what happens is it will print in the new line actually. Let me run this program again. User 1 is 10, user 2 is 20. Now if you see here, there is a new line it comes into the next print statement. This is because and by default and will come with the new line. Here I can override that functionality and I can specify ampersand is the indication for the next end. Then this time what happens is instead of it comes previously it printed in the new line. This time what happens in the single line both will print with the separation of ampersand here. Okay, and next one is you can pass place, you can basically place the placeholders also. What it means is sum of, I can specify, and I am specifying the placeholder, that is open curly braces and close curly braces is nothing but the placeholder. Now whenever I am passing these values here, now what printf function is going to identify is it will identify there is a input 1, it is going to replace this value with this placeholder, and input 2 is going to replace with this value, and third parameter I am going to, or variable I am going to assign is input 1 plus input 2. Now three places I have, now I place the three placeholders and three input values I am passing to the printf. Now this input 1 is going to replace with the first one, and input 2 replaces the second, and input 1 plus input 2 is going to replace this placeholder. Now let us go ahead and run and see the output. 10, 20. If you see here, sum of ages is 10, 20, 30. Once again. So what we are doing here is sum of two placeholders, input 1, input 2 and input 3. Sum of, sorry, here we have the after string we have the method called as a format, which is going to take the inputs from the it is going to take the inputs. Now what happens is this format function it is going to replace the input 1 with the first one, input 2 with the second one, input 3 with the third, input 1 plus input 2. Now let me run this program again and we can see the output. 10, 20. Now if you see here, first one is replaced with the 10, second one is replaced with the 20, and third one is replaced with the 10 plus 20. Okay, so like this it is going to replace. And similarly, even you can pass the indexes also. Like what it means is, if I say here 0, 1 and 2. Okay. Now if I run this program again, we can see the same output. 10, 20. If you see, output is same. For example, if I change this one like this, that is here 0, and if I say this is 1. Now output is same, but actually it is going to interchange these values 10, 20. If you see here, previously it is 10, 20, now 20, 10, and sum is going to be here 30. And another way also, printf is going to accept the values like this based on the value, that is input 1, input 2. For example, if like this, if you want to specify based on the name, then you can specify input 1 equal to 10 and input 2 equal to 20. Now what happens is, this is the key value pair actually, so it is going to replace these values. And for example, input 3 equal to input 1 plus input 2. Here you can specify input 3. Now if I run this program again, one more branch set request. If I run this program again, 10, 20, you can see here the output is coming properly. So this is the way you can you can take the input from the user, and you can format and display in the different ways. Hope you clear with the concept. Thanks for watching.